Hi, my name is Josh Gottry. Welcome to today's weekly lesson. Today we're going to talk about the triangle. Obviously, when you look at it, it's a pretty simple instrument. Piece of metal shaped like a triangle, one open corner. But getting into playing it, a little bit more complicated than that. And there's some basic concepts that are really important to have as part of your familiarity with both the instrument and how you approach it to make sure that you're handling and performing the triangle as well as possible. Certainly there are different types of triangles, different sizes, slightly different shapes as far as how the ends may be tapered or things like that. But in its essence, it's just a triangle-shaped piece of metal. Typically, is going to be hung by some sort of clip, and typically suspended such that the open corner is to the player's non-dominant hand, so that the hand with the beater is on the side that is furthest from the open corner. A clip. Lots of different options for that. You can make your own with a visit to your local hardware or home improvement store, or you can buy pre-manufactured specific triangle clips. It needs to have some sort of very thin wire or line. In this case, this is fishing line, and I typically recommend 2 loops, one slightly larger than the other, and the reason for that, of course, is that if one loop breaks, you don't end up with your triangle on the floor, because that second loop works as a safety mechanism to make sure that a little bit of a breakage is not a breakage of your triangle or damage to your triangle. So then the triangle is then suspended by this clip, and you should make the loops as small as possible while still allowing the triangle to suspend freely. The longer that you make the loops, the more likely that as you're playing, the triangle is moving around, and it's much more difficult to consistently strike a triangle that is a moving target. Okay, so once you have it on the clip, you can suspend it from a music stand. Obviously, that's the benefit of having a clip itself. But most of the time, the triangle, if possible, should be played while handheld. It allows you to control the instrument a little bit more, allows the audience to see what you're doing, allow you to set your line of sight with the triangle, with your beat, or with your music, and potentially with your conductor, all on the same line of sight. But if necessary, it can be suspended if you're playing other instruments and need to get to the triangle quickly or within that multiple percussion setup. In order to hold the triangle, you're going to go ahead and take your non-dominant hand to make a C, turn it on its side, and open your index finger from your middle finger. You're going to set the triangle clip right on that middle finger and your thumb, and then rest your index finger on top. Okay, this way you're using just those 3 fingers to suspend or hold the triangle. That allows your remaining 2 fingers, your 4th and 5th finger, to be able to control and dampen the instrument as necessary. Playing spots on the triangle, a couple primary playing spots that are available to you. One is near that top corner, opposite, again, the open corner of the triangle, right there. Okay. The other option is near the bottom of the triangle, closest to the closed corner, with a slight angle on the beater. And you get a very similar sound there. Now, I'm going to go ahead and play, and I'm not sure how much is going to be picked up, but I'm going to go ahead and play just along the bottom, and you're going to hear hopefully a wide variety of different sounds. And I do that to illustrate a very simple point, and that is playing the same exact spot on a triangle is of utmost importance to get a quality repeated sound. Now, we talk about this on snare drum and on keyboard percussion, certainly, but with the triangle, because of so much difference in quality of sound is possible by just moving even this 1/4 inch or an 1/8 inch, it's important to make sure that as you practice triangle, the thing you practice most is striking the same way in the same spot with a great degree of consistency. Now, every triangle is going to sound a little different. That one has a lot of shimmer and overtones. This one's going to have a slightly purer sound as you play it. of course this smaller triangle is going to have a characteristically different sound as well. So I do that just to illustrate the value of having multiple triangles, because the ability to choose a particular triangle sound for a given piece or a given composer or given style can be very helpful, of course. If you do need to play a roll on the triangle, that's executed in one of the two closed corners. First option, of course, being up in the top corner, back and forth there. The other option being down here in this corner. The benefit of the upper corner is that there's no influence of gravity. Both strokes are side to side. The advantage of this closed corner down here is that allows you to play the roll and then immediately be in position to play additional single notes. But it does have an up and a downstroke, and it's important to work to make sure that the upstroke gets the same volume as the downstroke, even though it's working against gravity as opposed to with gravity. When you need to play a louder roll, all you need to do is move further from the corner. So we start soft up here in the top corner, and then if we need to get louder, we can move down further. It is never appropriate, other than for calling people to dinner, to play a triangle roll on all three sides. That's not appropriate in a concert setting. If you do need to play passages that are more rapid, that requires two beaters, you can use two clips and mount using the two closed sides, and then play as a single surface on the top of the triangle with a pair of matched beaters. But it's very important that you really try to strive to get those beaters as close together as possible when you're playing. There are some limited situations where it's appropriate, perhaps in settings with a Brazilian influenced triangle pattern, that it's appropriate to play without a clip and play actually holding the triangle with your hand. That can be great for a lot of groove-based triangle playing. Something like that. You're going to suspend it as best you can from one finger, trying to touch it as little as possible, and then you can quickly open and close the triangle and get some of that characteristic style that would be more appropriate of, say, Brazilian triangle playing. So hopefully that gives you just the basics of the instrument, some things to work on. Having a nice selection of beaters is a good idea as well, so you can work in different contexts, although it's not always beneficial to find the smallest beater for the softest passage. A small beater also drastically influences the characteristic sound that you're playing, creates a much thinner sound, not just a softer sound. So you might find that a larger beater is most appropriate even though you're playing softly, so that you can get the fullness of that soft sound, not just a thin soft sound. There's some information for you. Hope that helps. Have a great week.